Um, well, Michael, is this the biggest game that you'll have had as Melbourne City coach thus far? Top of the table clash with Brisbane Roar at home. Massive sense of occasion. Should be a very big occasion.
Look, I think if you think about it in the way that you've framed it, then maybe. Um, I think my first match was probably my biggest one in the Champions League. That was probably where I felt the most nervous personally. Um, but uh, but look, in the context of the season, I think it's still early to say it would be a decider or anything like that. But I think Brisbane are a good side. They're in good form. And I think we're playing pretty well ourselves. So it should be a very entertaining match.
Brisbane have, stormed up the table, maybe taken a few people by surprise. But what do Brisbane do so well that has seen them rise up to currently second on the table?
First of all, I think they're very well coached. I really like their shape and how they play. I think it complements the quality of player that they have, especially in their attacking half. I think in wide areas and their two number 10s, I think are very, very good. Um, so yeah, I think they play in a very attacking way. There's some areas that I think that we've analysed where I think we can exploit them, but we need to be wary of their strengths, like I just mentioned. And if we can nullify that, then I think it will go a long way in winning the match.
Because Raw have, like, you look at the attacking stats across the league, they're either top or very close to the top in most of them. Is there anything in particular that you need to really worry about to shut them down in that front?
I think we need to press them higher up the park. I think we need to put their players in their back three under a lot more pressure than maybe some of the other teams have. And I think if we do that, one, we can get more rewards from potential turnovers, but that will leave us a little bit exposed as well in one-on-one battles. So we need to win our one-on-one duels, and we've been working on that the last couple of days in how we're going to press and how we're going to set traps. So we'll see if it works.
Because going over the stats ahead of this game, and I guess a lot's been made of Brisbane's attacking prowess, as I just did, but also looking at they've given up the fewest chances of any side in the league thus far. You tend to take your chances when you create them, I think 1 in 2, but how do you go about fashioning good looks on goal against raw defence?
Look, I think the gaps in a back three or the back five sometimes when they're in, if they get pinned, are different to when you play in a back four. So they're the couple of different movements that we'll be doing slightly different tomorrow. And I think how we control the game, as we like to do generally, I think will be a big indicator on how many times we enter into the final third. And then obviously it's up to the individuals to be able to unlock the defence to create the big moments, which over the last couple of weeks we probably haven't done it as well as I'd hoped. But we're working on it, so hopefully it all comes together tomorrow.
So I was going to ask you, coming into this game off the back of two straight draws, and whilst of course a draw is better than a loss, you'd rather be picking up the wins, but is that the big takeaway that you've taken from those two draws, just that final third?
Look, I still think both of the matches we controlled them really well. Still think we were by far the clearer, better side, creating 3 or 4 more bigger moments and chances than the opposition, which I felt, we deserved to win those games. But like you mentioned, a point is better than a loss. But those 2 games, to be honest, felt like losses for us. That's the standard that we're setting ourselves, and the club sets that standard on us as well. So we're eager to get back on the winning horse for sure.
Brisbane coming into this game off a short turnarounds. They played Melbourne Victory midweek, a big game. For a details-focused coach such as yourself, does that play into how you approach this game? The fact that ostensibly the opposition should be more fatigued than you?
No, we prepare as normal. Um, I'll be honest. I think we have the slightly better. We'll have fresher players, so that will play a part. They need to travel to Melbourne after playing Victory on Wednesday, so that's a slight advantage for us. But go back 10 days or 12 days, then we had our 3 games in 8 days. So, and I felt we managed that really well. We got 1 win and 2 draws, and I felt like all 3 matches were pretty dominant. And now this has been their sort of 3 games in 8 days, which they obviously got beat to Canberra late on, and they were quite dominant against the Victory, which was a good match to watch. And then let's see what happens on tomorrow night.
In terms of the health and fitness of your squad, saw on the ins and outs, Briley Henry's been ruled out with a concussion. No other injuries reported on that, but health and fitness wise, how's everybody coming into tomorrow's game?
Yeah, everyone that's been available is still available. Obviously, apart from Briley, there was a moment in the match that didn't affect her at that moment. She didn't even get any treatment, but started feeling not the greatest after the game, which was a bit of a delayed concussion from what the doc and medical staff have said. So, yeah, she'll miss this week. But other than that, everyone else is fit and ready to go.
And I guess I'll ask the requisite Holly McNamara question. How many minutes can she play against Brisbane?
She's ready to start this week.
Will she start?
Well, I didn't quite say, did I?
No,
but she's ready to start.
So hypothetical, how many minutes do you reckon should be able to play? Say, if she started, could she play an hour? If she came on after 30 minutes, could she play out the 90? How many minutes could she go?
Yeah, I would say she's probably around that 60-minute mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much of a luxury is that for you? Because we've seen pretty much every time you've subbed Holly on so far this season, it feels like she's having a goal involvement within about 10 minutes. I mean, how much of a luxury is that for you that now she, if you require her to, is able to start?
Yeah, look, I think we all know she's a super talented player. So, and she's, credit to her, she's gotten back into her rhythm very, very quickly. And I think she's got a lot of levels to keep improving, which is exciting for us, and I think for the national team as well. So she's a very good player. We all know that. She's got great strengths of going in behind. She's getting better at coming to feet and linking as well. Yeah, I think she's a top player, and we'll keep working to try and improve her, and she's going to help us, whether she's off the bench or starting. She's a key player for us, like a lot of the team we have.